Metaphor Refantazio may look like a typical anime-style RPG, but there's a lot more going on underneath. Now, it's available on Xbox Game Pass, so here's what you need to know. At first glance, Metaphor Refantazio looks like another flashy anime-style RPG. But it doesn't take long to see that this game is trying to be more than just style. You get a big fantasy world filled with kingdoms, politics, rebellion, and some heavy themes like class conflict and discrimination. It's got the look of a fantasy RPG, but underneath, it's playing with the structure of Persona-style storytelling. If you're someone who enjoys character-driven stories with layers of lore and meaningful choices, you'll notice pretty quickly that this game gives you a lot to dig into. The tone is more serious than the high school drama of Persona, but it still holds on to that emotional character focus. The story drops you into a world where power struggles and ancient prophecies are shaping the future of a kingdom. Sounds like typical fantasy at first, but it actually tackles a lot of real-world inspired themes. It deals with how people are judged based on where they're from or how they look, and how leadership can be manipulated or earned. The deeper you go, the more this story starts to feel like a reflection of real-world systems wrapped in fantasy clothing. You also get to influence how others see your character based on the Archetype system, which is more than just a class. It's a statement about identity. It affects not just how you fight, but how characters talk to you and how certain quests open up. The world itself feels lived in, from the capital cities to the outer regions filled with magic and mystery. If exploration and immersion matter to you, this world delivers. Combat is turn-based, but not in a lazy way. It's fast, flexible, and driven by smart systems. The Archetype mechanic lets you switch between roles, sort of like jobs or personas, but with a layer of story and social influence. You'll be choosing between classes like Knight, Warlock, and Thief, each with unique abilities and weaknesses. This isn't just about stacking damage numbers. Many boss fights feel like puzzles, where you need to figure out the right combo of archetypes and timing. If you go in with the wrong setup, you'll get crushed, so it rewards experimentation and planning. That said, once you find a strong combo, it can be easy to stick with it and steamroll parts of the game. That might take away some of the challenge if you're not switching things up often. There's also a real-time element to enemy encounters. You can ambush or get ambushed depending on how you engage. It keeps the pacing more exciting than just walking into another battle screen. One weak point is dungeon variety. Early on, the areas feel fresh, with interesting layouts and themes. But after a while, they start blending together. Some floors feel like slight reskins of earlier ones, and the objectives don't always evolve much. If dungeon crawling is your favorite part of RPGs, you might notice the repetition. Still, the game tries to mix things up with light puzzle mechanics and enemy placement, so it's not a total drag. But it's fair to say that the level design isn't as imaginative as the story or combat. The game features a day-night cycle and weather system, allowing players to manage activities such as building relationships, exploring dungeons, and progressing the story. You have to decide how to spend each day, building relationships, improving skills, exploring dungeons, or making key decisions that affect the storyline. You'll grow closer to your party through these interactions, and it's not just fluff. Those relationships actually improve your combat synergy and open up new narrative paths. Fans of social mechanics will find plenty to enjoy here. The only downside? If you miss certain side content or social events, you might lock yourself out of some deeper storylines. The game isn't always clear about this, so it rewards planning but punishes casual play a little. The art style is easily one of the game's best strengths. It keeps the sharp, stylish character designs that fans of the team are used to, but layers them with richer fantasy elements. You've got medieval castles, magic-infused cities, dreamlike forests, all drawn with a painterly flair that really stands out. The UI is slick and animated, which makes even navigating menus feel stylish. Soundtrack-wise, the music hits hard when it needs to, especially during big boss fights or emotional moments. It's composed with a mix of orchestral and modern elements, making it stand out from other fantasy RPGs. The voice acting, both English and Japanese, holds up well, and character expressions match the tone most of the time. Here's where things get a bit shaky. Performance isn't perfect. On console, especially Xbox Series S, there are reports of frame drops in busy areas, and load times can occasionally spike during fast travel or between scenes. There are also minor bugs, like animations getting stuck or audio dissyncs, but nothing game-breaking. If you're on Xbox Game Pass, the value is still strong, but it might feel a bit unpolished compared to a full-price retail experience. Some updates have already improved things, but don't expect a flawless technical experience right out of the gate. This isn't a short game. You're looking at 60 to 90 hours for a full run, and even more if you aim to unlock everything. That's a lot of content for a Game Pass title, especially if you're into deep character builds, exploring multiple endings, or replaying with different archetype combinations. It's the kind of RPG that rewards you for sticking with it, but the pacing can feel uneven. Some players will love the slow build-up and deep lore. Others might hit a wall around the halfway point if they're not fully invested. So, is Metaphor Refantazio worth playing on Xbox Game Pass in 2025? If you're into JRPGs with emotional depth, strong strategy mechanics, and a story that doesn't shy away from complex themes, then yes, it's definitely worth checking out. You get a game that challenges you to think, both in combat and in narrative choices. You get stylish visuals, great music, and a world that actually feels like it changes as you make decisions. But it's not perfect. Expect some dungeon repetition, performance hiccups, and the occasional pacing issue. If you're expecting a fast-paced action RPG, this might not hit that spot. Still, for the cost of a Game Pass subscription, this is a huge value. Even with its flaws, the amount of content and originality here make it one of the more interesting RPGs to drop in recent years. If you're already a Game Pass subscriber, there's no reason not to give this one a shot. Just know what you're getting into. A smart, story-heavy RPG that asks for your time and attention, but rewards it with depth and imagination. Thanks for watching. If you found this breakdown helpful, consider checking out the channel for more honest reviews. No hype, no fluff, just what you need to know before jumping into your next game.